So let's talk about the most recent book, the stories for young readers and readers who wish to be young.
Mm-hmm.
And that book came out when?
October 14th, 2025.
Well, it's just very recent.
They're
So
very recent, yeah. And one of the things I love about this book, aside from the illustrations, which I think are terrific, not mine, uh, is that all the proceeds will go to benefit scholarships for needy kids. I'm not making a penny from this book, happily.
that's wonderful.
I agree. Maybe it's to do something kind.
So what is the organization that makes the decision of which kids get the scholarships?
Well, the reason why this became possible is because the cost of publishing the book was met by a wonderful donor.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
so the publisher is not worried about making money. I'm not worried about royalties. And a school here called the University Academy, which is a school of 1,200 kids, almost all of whom fall below the poverty line, will be one of the beneficiaries. And then a school here in the greater Kansas City area, which is a very fancy prep school that has scholarships so that kids who couldn't afford it can go, will also be a beneficiary, assuming there are royalties, which
Right.
won't be to me. Those are the two main places that will receive it. In fact, small story about the school. It's called the University Academy. 1,200 students. 4 years ago, the first group to go K through 12 graduated from the school. The valedictorian got into Harvard. Now, that's all wonderful. All the kids get into college, and the school founder pays for their education and pays for tutors while they're in college, because some of the kids aren't ready. But here's the exquisite part. Got into Harvard. His father was the custodian of the school.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that a beautiful turning?
That's a beautiful story. Yeah. So I was a valedictorian, but I didn't get into Harvard. So
You're in a postgraduate course in excellence at Rancho La Puerta. How about that for
I've been in school my whole life learning things. So,
yeah, for sure.
What did you learn writing this book? Is there anything unique or special you learned? Surprised you?
I'm going to answer in a small detail, and then maybe it'll give me time to think of the larger response. One of the stories, as I had written it, was about two young girls. One of the young girls has a favorite toy that breaks, and she cries, and her friend stays to try to comfort her. She gets home much too late because she's tried to help and comfort her, and her parents are angry with her because she's late. And the editor said, why don't you change it to that her parents are proud of her because she stayed to help a friend whom she couldn't fix, but she could help cry with her.
Right.
And I thought that was a brilliant recognition of being positive rather than negative. So that's a small footnote of what I've learned. And of course, what I've learned over and over again has how stories can outflank our resistance to grow or change. For me, I'm constantly integrating these stories as a reminder of, oh yeah, I've got to do that. Or for someone else. This particular book came out of a class I taught where, do you know the group Wilco?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, some of the listeners will. Jeff Tweedy, who is a frequent appearer on a lot of rock shows. He's my son-in-law says he's the Bob Dylan of his generation, is the lead singer and composer of the music. One of his two sons, I taught both of them, but one of his sons said, Rabbi, you should publish these stories, because I would teach in stories. And that sort of tweaked my imagination to write this book.
Mm-hmm. Where do you get your stories from?
Everywhere. Yeah. There's a story in here from a rabbinic source. There's a story in here from the animal world. There's a story in here from a philosopher, in fact, a very pessimistic philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer, a 19th century German philosopher, despicably pessimistic about the human endeavor. I turned that upside down, I hope. There's a story in here from a book called The 100th Monkey, which was published in the 1960s. Stories stick, at least for me.
Yeah.
And
Do you have a favorite story?
is that's asking me to choose between my children, right?
Oh, that's okay then.
But I have a story that taught me to value stories. How's that for finessing?
That's very
Okay. All
well
right.
done. Not your first rodeo, I can tell. Yeah.
Well, as I sometimes tell students, listen, don't think you can ask me a question I don't know the answer to, because if you ask me a question I don't know the answer to, I'll turn it to a question, the answer to which I do know, and hope you don't catch it.
Right.
But at any rate, I learned the power of stories from a story. I tried in my pulpit life, I'm semi-retired now, to never repeat a story. Or if I did, I would say, okay, some of you may recall getting them on my side. I was teaching a class of 12 and 13-year-olds. They were studying for their bar and bat mitzvah. And I began to tell a story about it's 1,800 years old, about a rabbi who opens his mouth for the first time in the Talmudic discussions. He only appears twice. He's a minor character. His name is Rabbi Nathan. The sages are debating whether you should go to the gladiatorial combats of ancient Rome or not. And for the first time he opens his mouth, all of them say, it's barbaric. We must stay away from such brutality. He opens his mouth and says, we have to go. And they say to him, Ma hasiba, for those whose Aramaic is rusty, what's your reasoning? And he says, when the crowd shouts for the blood of the defeated gladiator and goes thumbs down, our job is to shout thumbs up. And I think that's a wonderful job description from which you never retire. Because there's more than enough evidence to say, give up, you can't make a difference. What point does it make? Shout thumbs up. It might keep your spirits going. These kids were 8 and 9 years old when I used that story. It was at the end of a Yom Kippur morning sermon. They had no business listening, and a whole bunch of them remembered the story. That's how I found the magic of stories.
That's great. Though, when you mentioned earlier about the girl who stayed to help someone and she could have gotten in trouble when she got home.
Yeah.
To me, that's kind of it's almost a story about finding the positive to everything has two sides, and finding the positive is for me, it's a personal miracle to find the positive in situations.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
May I wax rabbi for a second?
Sure.
One of the great stories in the Hebrew Bible is Jacob wrestling with whatever it is he wrestles with. And the text says in English, I will not let you go until you bless me. I didn't want this to happen. He's going to be wounded for the rest of his life. But I won't let this go by until I can find a blessing in it. I didn't want it to happen. What can I do to turn this into a force for good? As you may vaguely remember, my father died when I was a kid. You think I wanted that to happen? Right. But what's the blessing in it? He taught me some of the most critical lessons I know. May I? Yeah. The lessons? Lesson number one. Lesson number one, life is a very precious and fragile gift. Self-evident, right? Needs no elaboration. Lesson number two, were I to die today, I want more. I'm so intoxicated, to use a poet I love, Edna St. Vincent Millay, oh, life, I cannot hold you close enough. Lesson number three, were I to die today, and I mean this, Barry, it will be enough to say thank you, or to use Hebrew, dayenu. It's enough. Thank you. I want more, but if this is all I get, I am grateful. Lesson number four, I'd rather have my father than have learned any of it. I can't have that, but I can have what his life still means in me. I will not let it go until I find the blessing in it.
I interviewed someone about grief, and it's also, you can hold grief and joy at the same time. And what you're saying is you can, the grief of losing your father, but there are some other ways that you can look at it as well. And you can still hold both.
Yeah. Please send me the link to the one on grief. I'm doing research right now because I'm thinking, do I have a book in me about grief and how to deal with it?
Yeah, because humans deal with it, but especially in our culture,
If you live long enough and love, you will encounter it.